Start.
Hello everyone, I'm Sanjana Sharma and today we have a very special guest, Rishu Garg from Kyoshi EdTech. And today we are going to discuss a very important topic, resume building. Ma'am, before we getting into the resume, can you please tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, hi, good afternoon everyone. I'm Rishugar, as she has correctly introduced. I'm an owner of Kyoshi EdTech. We deal into educational services, and our services move both online and offline, and we are globally give our services. And so when we come to this company, so I have established this company last year in the month of January. Before that, I come from a legal background. I worked close to a decade with a law firm based at Delhi and with US based companies based at Gurgaon. So why this transition happened is just that I believe that there's one book which I always love to quote, that is Ikigai, which has actually transformed me, because that book made me think whatever I am doing, am I actually being or the part of that ikigai or not. And education has always been very very close to my heart. I was always been very passionate to bring a change into the society, and this is the reason I've started my own edtech company.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, let's get to our first question. What are the trends and the challenges in the industries today?
Okay, so when it comes to trends and challenges, so first of all, we need to understand when it comes to resume building, resume is the person's personal and professional imprint. Okay, so we need to understand, to any company we are applying, that it is very important to understand the history of that company, what is the product or the services of that company. And yes, I have seen that most of the students, they ignore the KRA, thinking that let me apply, we'll see whatever happens at the interview stage. No, if the company is actually giving you a detailed KRA, so that means this is what company is expecting at the end of the day. So you have to understand that KRA, and accordingly you have to make your resume. So you need to understand that one resume does not fit all. I always give an example, just like one shoe does not fit all, one shoe does not fit for all the occasions. So this is how your resume is. So this is, I think, one of the challenges with the student face. They do not read the history of the company, they do not understand what the company is actually looking forward to, which is very important.
Ma'am, let's go to our second question. How can someone create an effective and well-structured resume?
Okay, when it comes to effective and well structured resume, first of all, before making a resume, I would always suggest that whatever information you have, just collate it on an MS Word or any of the document or any of the software that you use. And in that, for the resume, it is very important, of course, to have skills, what skills you have obtained. So I have seen many resumes in what the students, what they do is they just do it, okay, I have done an internship there and this is what I have done. Okay, as a recruiter, I understand this is what you have done, but what you have gained at the end of the day, how you have actually applied the soft skills during the whole process, how you have managed to manage a team. For example, I have been asked to look after 5 or 10 batchmates of mine. So but this is what is the soft skill which I have gained. So maybe a team building, maybe how I am persuading the team, maybe how I am building a leadership. Okay, so all these things need to be mentioned when I'm mentioning what is the roles and the duties or the responsibilities that I have done. Plus, it is very important to mention your educational qualifications and or any certifications or any diploma, any specializations you have done. Another one of the most important questions, or most of the, I would say, I will put it under FAQ category, which I receive is it important to mention the languages that I have learned, or if I know any other languages, is it important? Yes, is it important, because we need to understand that nowadays we work in a demographics where we have clients across the globe. So maybe that company's KRA does not require per se maybe learning a German language or French or a Russian language, but tomorrow you never know, the company might acquire a client where they might require somebody who can talk to the client. So these things would really help you. And yes, please do not include the personal details until unless it is asked for. When it comes to personal details, the company is not interested to know about your marital status, your date of birth, your spouse name, etc. But if the company has any specific specification for any specific industry where they're looking for these informations, of course you can disclose it, otherwise it is not required.
Let's go to the next question. Ma'am, what are the do's and don'ts while writing a resume?
Okay, so when it comes to do's and don'ts, First of all, do's. It is important, since I've already mentioned in my previous question. So it is very important to write about the skills or the talents that you have. It is important to mention about any experience if you have, whether it's an internship experience or any community services that you have done, or maybe you were the part of some company, because it helps the recruiter to understand that you are not a fresher and you come something with your hand. Okay. Second, it is important to mention about your educational qualifications and any specialization you have done, like any certification, any diploma, or maybe you have learned a new language, you have acquired a new language, or you were the part of some club. For example, if I talk about any club, so I think Toastmasters Club, it is one of the very famous clubs across the globe. If you have been the part of that, if you have been the part of any core team, or maybe you are leading something, so it is also important to mention that. Why? Though I know they're not looking for somebody who is the part of Toastmaster, but these again the part of the soft skills, how well you can portray your soft skills. So this is also important. Plus any achievements if you have got, whether at an educational level or at a professional level. For example, you might have won the tag of Employee of the Month. So in that case, if you will mention that along with the skills that you have done, or if you have acquired in achieving the same, that would help you to understand, and also it would help the employer or the recruiter to understand what you bring on the board. So again, that is very important. Don'ts: please, whenever you are making a resume, please check the font size, which is very, very important. You need to understand that a header font size is greater than the bullet points that you make. Do not write big paragraphs. Nobody has a time to read those big paragraphs in the industry, and nowadays we use a very popular system for shortlisting a CV, which is known as ATS system, popularly known as ATS system. So nobody is interested to read that. And whenever you are writing, try to write short and crisp. Nobody is interested in the stories. If they would be, then they would ask you during the interview cycle. Thirdly, it is very important to understand the fonts that we use. Okay, it is very important to understand the professional fonts. So when it comes to professional fonts, two are the most common fonts that we use, which is the Times New Roman and another is Vardhana. So these are the two common professional fonts we use. Until unless industry has a specific demand. For example, if you have applied for any creative department where they're expecting you to be very creative with your CV, or to use the creative fonts, or maybe to have to bring something creativity on your CV, that's a separate story. But usually in a professional circle, we prefer to use this, and everything needs to be synchronized and aligned. And when it comes to chronological order, we always start from the latest and then moving to the least. For example, if I worked in ABC company this year, so first of all that experience will come, and then moving backwards. So this is how we structure the resume, and it is very important to make it to a one page. Maximum to maximum, if you have more experience, more stories to tell, maximum goes to 2 pages. Please do not make into 5, 10, 15 pages. Again, nobody in the industry has time to read a lot of stories.
Ma'am, the next question is, what is the best way to highlight the soft skill in the resume?
Okay, so when it comes to soft skills, the best way to highlight is the role or the responsibility that you have done during the company, or during the any corporation or any organization that you have joined. For example, there was a project which had a very tight deadline, which had no weekends off. So, and you got a responsibility to manage a team. So maybe there you might can highlight it. I've managed the team of a project which had a very tighter deadlines, and I made sure the project has been delivered on time. So what this reflects, you have worked as a leader, you have managed with the time, and you are a kind of person, if you were put into pressure or there would be tighter or the stringent deadlines tomorrow, so you would be the person to look upon. So this is how you have to highlight your soft skill. It is not something that you will write soft skills acquired and these are the skills. No, it has to come up with the roles and responsibilities that were the part and parcel of your organization or part and parcel of your job profile.
Ma'am, what are the common mistakes that negatively impact an interview?
Okay, so when it comes to common mistake, first of all, any company wherever you're going for an interview, it is very important to be read through. When it comes to read through, so it is very important to check its website, to check its products and services, to understand it, its establishment, its client. Okay, everything. I know many students, they come to me and they say, okay ma'am, I do not know this until unless I do not join the company. No, this is not the case. Nowadays all these information is available on the client's website or on the recruiter's website. Please have a walkthrough, and it is very important to understand the industry. Maybe the industry where you are applying, that might not be your cup of tea, or that is not something where your career goals align. Okay, so this is why it is very important. Secondly, when you go for an interview, please do not start with the package talks. Okay, so or discuss about the package has always been the last thing. Yes, but whenever you are quoting any figure, do not quote it whatever it comes to the mind, or do not build the castle in the air. We need to understand that every industry has a certain raise percentage. So you need to understand what is the current raise percentage of that industry. So for that thing, I would recommend you to check Glassdoor. Glassdoor is a very popular app or the website. So you can always check what is the current trend is going on, or how much package that recruiter or that company offers. Or maybe sometimes what happens is the recruiter might have mentioned as a 6 LPA, but at the same time the recruiter has certain figure into mind where he can negotiate. Maybe he's okay if he get a good candidate or a deserving candidate, it's okay offering a 7 LPA also. But if a company has already written in its advertisement or somewhere on the website or on any of the website which offers job as 6 LPA and negotiable, you need to understand that the recruiter from 6, he or she can go till 6.5 or maybe till 7, but 6 will not become 12. So we need to understand these things. And yes, last, most important, please ask questions to the recruiters. What do they expect you, and what is the role, how many people are working with the organization, how did they work, how does the day start. Asking all these questions actually leaves a positive impact, meaning thereby that the company or the recruiter understand that you are interested to know the well through or the day-to-day process of the company. And yes, leaves, I know many students are very curious to know what is the leave policy. Let it be the last part of the row. Let's not jump the gun. Reason being, because the company or the recruiter might have a negative impact, thinking that before joining the company, the candidate or the person who has come here for a job, who's only interested what is the leave policy. So these are like the nitties and gritties which a person can keep into mind while going for an interview.
Ma'am, does a resume vary on different type of industries?
Yes, absolutely. So when it comes to different types of industry, for example, again I'm going to that example, if somebody is looking for a role in a creative industry, so I'll quote this example from one of my family's person. So my own brother, who is now settled in US, he has applied for his job, though he is a coder at Microsoft, but the resume that he made, he did not make the handmade resume. He has built a whole website in which he has highlighted all his skills, and this is how he got his first job at Amazon, and then after that he switched to Microsoft. Or maybe somebody is working for an advertising industry, or maybe somebody, I remember reading a book in which the person has mentioned that how he got selected for a company called Netflix because he made his resume in the form of Netflix, in which he had a logo, and then in which he had the continue watching, he had this past watched, something that sort of he had adopted as an idea, which the company really liked it, because the company understood that the candidate who is applying for this job is very very desperate and very keen to be the part of this industry. For example, Google, they always look for something out of the box. So these are the common examples which I'm giving. Why? Because again, it depends upon industry to industry. Again, you are applying for an advertising company or an event management company, so maybe they want something creative out of the box. But if you're applying for like industries like maybe a legal industry, so they want something, they want more text, they want something more aligned, they want something, give it a very professional look. So this is how it varies.
Which platforms are mostly used by working professionals nowadays?
Okay, so when it comes to platform, of course, Naukri.com, which is one of the very common and very popular platform. Then you have Monster.com, you have Shine.com. Then LinkedIn is one of the very good, very authentic platforms, because there you get a chance to connect with the with the professionals, you do networking virtually with them, so it helps you to build your own network also. And yes, the I would always suggest, besides this, you can always use ambition box. That gives you just a sneak through about the company, how the employee thinks, what is the work culture of the company, what, does it offer work life balance or not, though I always believe that work life balance is a myth when it comes to any industry. But yes, of course, it just gives you a sneak peek. And then Glassdoor is one of the very good platforms which you can use to look for these industries.
The next question is, what is the right time to plan the career during college time?
Okay, so when the student or the child moves into his or her university years, or into his or her college years, there is no right time or the wrong time, but of course, if the child has a better clarity during his first year, second year, or a third year, if I talk about the 4 year or a 5 year course, because nowadays we have 3 years course, 4 years course, five years course, even 5.5 years courses also. So somewhere between second to third year, the child has a better clarity what next to be done. For example, if you're doing a BTech, so BTech, we understand that it's a 4 year course. But if I want to go for an MBA program, then of course I need a guidance also, I might need a coaching also, I will be filling up the form also, and I would invest some time in preparing for that exam. So I need to have a clarity maybe somewhere between third year. So in the fourth year, I have it into my mind, and I can also do my research, what are the colleges are offering, what is the specialization I'm looking forward to. Or I am not interested in maybe an MBA program, I might be interested to fly overseas to pursue an MS program, or maybe I just don't want to do more studies, I just want to get into a corporate sector and working for a couple of years, and then I want to decide how the industry is shaping altogether. So ideally, I would say there is no as such a straitjacket formula, this is a right time or this is a wrong time, but somewhere between second year, at the finish of the second year and at the advent of third year, a student must have something into his or her mind that how that person wants to proceed further.
Ma'am, what role do internship and online courses play during college time?
Okay, so when it comes to online courses and your internships, so internships, let's understand the courses. So courses are majorly divided into two heads. One is the regular course, another is the professional course. And nowadays, thanks to the NEP policy, which has been introduced in 2020, of course, now we are implementing it into phases, in different phases at school and the university level. So that also gives you an option for the 4 year regular degree, which includes your intense research also. Okay, so it depends upon the degree to degree in the program which you are doing. For example, if you're doing like professional courses like BTech, BBA, BMS, BBS, all these courses, all these are the professional courses. So internship is the part and parcel of these courses, which means that it is mandatory and it is important to do internship. Why internship is important? It gives you a sneak through of the industry, how does the industry look like. So it takes me back to my days when I did my undergrad in bachelor's in journalism and mass communication from IP University Delhi. I still remember working with different channels, working with different newspapers, working with the PR industry and an event management company, because then it helped me to understand what is my right fit, which industry I want to go and make my career. And also I understood that whatever I'm studying in the books, how that industry is different when it comes to a real life. So that ways it is very important if you get an opportunity to do an internship. But if it is not a part and parcel of your course, there are many websites are available nowadays through which you can go and enroll yourself. For example, one of the very common and very popular website is internshala.com. So you can go and enroll yourself there if you find any internship which is can be the part and parcel of your forte, or which can be the part and parcel of your career goals. You can always enroll it. If you're interested for a law course, there's another very good website which is Loctopus. Again, you can go and check certain programs. And when it comes to online programs gives you a hand on a specialization. For example, somebody is doing a BTech in data sciences, and that person is very sure that I want to make a career into coding. So maybe doing the courses which are being offered by platforms like Google or maybe a Coursera. So it is just providing an icing on the cake on your profile, and even you also get an understanding, okay, this is how the real picture looks like, and am I actually interested in making my career there? Am I actually interested to stay for another maybe 5 years, 7 years or 10 years down the line? So this is how both the things helps us.
Okay, thank you, ma'am, for joining us today and giving us a valuable lesson for resume.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.